All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the High Hanging Fruit webinar. Again, if you're here for the High Hanging Fruit webinar, you are in the right place. I hope everybody's having a good morning so far. Just for a few moments here, I'm going to introduce myself and I'm going to introduce Tim Shermack, who's going to be running the webinar today. So I'm Mitch Broderick. I'm the one that you've been getting the emails. You've been getting the barrage of emails and text messages from me over the course of the last probably day or so, and obviously this morning. If you're here, basically for this webinar, if you're here for the free book, everybody's going to get a free copy of the book. And I myself have been a realtor before. I used to sell full time for 3 or 4 years. And there is no marketing system or strategy that I have found that actually works better than this high hanging fruit system. So everybody who's on the webinar, we're going to tell you how to get the free book on this webinar. So definitely stick around. Secondly, I want to just take a moment and introduce Tim Shermack. Tim Shermack is the author of the High Hanging Fruit book, and he's also the CEO of Platform. And so Tim has basically been marketing for the better half of a decade now. He has designed the best marketing system, again, for realtors. So this is a live webinar, by the way. Today is February 13th, 2018. We are definitely doing a live webinar. I know a lot of the time you jump on these things and they're recorded. This is actually live. So I want to introduce Tim Shermack. He's going to actually be delivering the webinar today. And I'm going to be kind of in the background. So you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, you can do chatting live. I'm going to be answering some people there whenever they ask questions, as well as answering text messages that come in or emails that come in throughout the webinar. So I'll be in the background trying to stay caught up with everybody's inquiries. And then Tim's actually going to be delivering the content. So on your screen, you should just see a logo there. In a moment after I introduce Tim, he'll chat for a minute and then he'll actually hop into screen share so that you know that you're in the right place and that everything's working fine. You should just see the logo and that'll change here shortly. So great. Without further ado, welcome to the High Hanging Fruit webinar, and I'm going to hand it off to Tim Shermack. Thank you, Tim.
All right. Hey, guys. As Mitch said, my name is Tim Shermack. I'm the author of the book, High Hanging Fruit. I'm also the CEO of Platform Marketing. So everyone, if you're just joining us, just want to remind you, everyone is going to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. All right. So let me hop into screen share here, guys, and we'll dive into the substance. What we're going to be going over today is the marketing strategy known as High Hanging Fruit. All right, this is a marketing strategy that we've specifically tuned with realtors, and the results have been staggering. We've been doing this now for about 4 years, and we've gotten the chance to work with hundreds of realtors. So I just wanted everyone to be clear that this is not something that we've tried it with 3 or 4 realtors and we got lucky, right? We've actually implemented this successfully for hundreds of real estate agents at this point, and the results are just ridiculous. What high hanging fruit is, in a nutshell, is it's a marketing strategy where we're always focused on generating leads that are in the future. So rather than trying to get a buyer who's ready to go this week or a seller who's ready to list their house this week, high hanging fruit is about constantly picking the fruit at the top of the tree, right? Higher up in the sales cycle. So we're actually intentionally going after leads that might not be ready, for 3 months or 4 months. Because if we always are focused on building the pipeline, right, pretty soon you have a predictable flow of business and you never have to worry about where your next closing is going to come from. And so that's what we do for clients that work with us at Platform Marketing. We just manage all that stuff for them. So what I'm going to be sharing with you this morning on the webinar is how you can build your own high-hanging fruit marketing system in your business. Whether you are a member of a big team or you're a solo agent, whether you're newer to the business or honestly you're a top producer already, this is going to be highly relevant to you. So what this webinar specifically is going to focus on is how to generate high-hanging fruit leads. So I want everyone to be clear that this isn't like a theoretical webinar. We're not just going to talk about the theory of how this marketing strategy works. This webinar is going to be very tactical, very practical. Okay, we're going to dive into actually the specific Facebook ads that you can use to generate leads. I'll show you how to set up those specific Facebook ads. We're basically going to tell you everything that you need to know to generate up to 200 leads a month, sometimes even more. Most of the realtors that work with us, the actual average, honestly, is about 200 leads a month. That's not me cherry picking a really great example or an outlier. The actual average of realtors who implement this strategy with us is they get about 200 leads a month. So pretty consistently, 30 days a month, they're bringing in 6 to 7 leads every single day. So let's dive into this. Again, if you're just joining us, everyone is going to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. This is Tim Chermak speaking. I'm the author of the book. I'm also the CEO of Platform Marketing. So this first slide you see on the screen here, this is a text message that Mitch had got from a client. And yeah, it sounds like they got, some buyer and some seller leads. So they're certainly excited about that. But what I want you to focus on, everyone, is the very end of this. It says, my pipeline is full. That's the key sentence, that kind of last sentence there. My pipeline is full. That is what high hanging fruit is all about. So this high hanging fruit idea isn't just a marketing tactic. It's really like a new way of thinking about marketing. Most agents are just obsessed with trying to get business that's ready to go right now. So that's why they're constantly cold calling, right? Cold calling expireds. It's why they're cold calling FSBOs. It's why they might sign up for like a Mojo dialer, right? And they time block 2 hours a day because they're trying to call the most recent expired listings the day that they hit the open market, right? Or they're willing to, send cold mailers and make cold calls to for sale by owners. They want business that's ready to go right now, right? Or, the most common thing that agents do is they buy leads from Zillow or Realtor.com, right? And those leads are usually ready to go sooner than later because someone doesn't go on Realtor.com or Zillow and inquire and actually give their information if they're thinking about buying a home in a year, right? Usually those leads from, those portal websites like Zillow are what I would consider low-hanging fruit. They're ready to go this week or this month, right? They're not like 8 months off into the future, right? So most agents fight over the low-hanging fruit. High-hanging fruit is a new idea entirely. We want to focus our marketing energy and our budgets on building a pipeline of leads. Most agents honestly just don't have the vision for this. They don't have the courage or the patience to do this. And so that's why they live month to month, paycheck to paycheck, closing to closing, always worrying about where their next deal is going to come from. So high hanging fruit is about intentionally structuring our lead generation campaigns so that we're bringing in high hanging fruit style leads, people higher up in the sales cycle that, a buyer or a seller who's maybe not ready to go for, 2 or 3 months, maybe even 4 months away, right? Because if you do that, you'll always have a steady stream of leads and where your next commission check is going to come from. So this isn't really a tactic. High hanging fruit honestly isn't even really a strategy. It's really above that even. It's a bigger picture perspective. High hanging fruit isn't really a tactic or a strategy. It's actually more of a philosophy. High hanging fruit is like a new way of thinking about marketing. So from now on, all of your mindset should be focused on generating a future pipeline of leads. This works so well because no agents do this. Like 99% of agents are fighting over the low-hanging fruit, right? That's why when an expired listing hit the market, they often get called by 20 agents that first day, right? Most agents are fighting over the low-hanging fruit. So if you have the patience, if you have the courage and kind of just the business vision to bring a ladder when everyone else is fighting over the low-hanging fruit, bring a ladder and climb to the top of the tree and pick the high-hanging fruit, you'll have a monopoly in your market. So you're essentially intercepting all the leads a couple months before they ever get to the point where they're ready to actually go to Zillow or Realtor.com, right? So by that time, you've already been talking with them. They're already your lead, right? So you're kind of fishing upstream. You're intercepting all the leads early on in the sales cycle before they would ever come into contact with other realtors, right? So just as proof that it's working, I want to show you a very recent video we got from an agent who was actually on this same webinar that you're on right now. We did a very similar webinar where it was live back in November around Thanksgiving. And by the way, this is a live webinar. It's the day before Valentine's Day right now. It is, let me grab my iPhone here. It is 10:11 a.m. right now, Eastern time, the day before Valentine's Day. Right now, the Winter Olympics are on. The first gold medal for the U.S., I think, was a snowboarder named Red. So there you go, right? This is a live webinar. I just want everyone to be clear that this is not one of those BS pre-recorded webinars that we tried to make it look live. It is 100% live. So there you go. So this is a quick video I want to show you. It's like a 20-second video of an agent who was on this webinar that we did when we did a live one back in November. And within the first couple weeks of her implementing this high-hanging fruit strategy, she got multiple buyers and sellers. So here's how the strategy works right away.
Hi, this is Michelle Jones from Tennessee. I joined the platform webinar. I signed up, and my results for the first 10 days are that the 2 new listings ads that I ran.
So this actually isn't even the first couple weeks, the first month. I take that back. This is actually the first 10 days that she took action on this high-hanging fruit strategy.
I signed up, and my results for the first 10 days are that the 2 new listings ads that I ran with platform, I got both under contract in the same day. I also have 5 active buyers that I'm currently working with now, and I also have obtained 3 new listings.
So the reason I want to show that video to you is that, you know, she got 5 new buyers and 3 listings. Like, if I didn't have an actual video, you probably wouldn't believe me. Like, it almost sounds like too good to be true that you picked up 5 real buyers and also 3 listings. Like, that just sounds too good to be true. So that's why I asked her to film a video. But she was on the same webinar as you. I just show you this video so you guys understand the power of this idea, high-hanging fruit. Again, the reason this works so well as a marketing strategy is that it's pretty much the opposite of what most agents are doing. So just because you're doing the opposite, you don't have competition, right? Most agents are just so obsessed with trying to pick up buyers right now or sellers right now, which is why they'll sit open houses on weekends, right? It's why they'll call expired listings the day they hit the market. It's why they'll call for sale by owners. You know, it's why they'll beg and plead for referrals from their sphere of influence, right? It's why they'll spend thousands of dollars a month on Zillow ads, you know, or buying impressions on Realtor.com, right? Or, you know, maybe you signed up for Curator or Boomtown, Commissions Inc., right? There's tons of websites out there, right? All of it centers around low-hanging fruit. So low-hanging fruit is what all of that has in common. It's trying to pick up buyers right now. If you build your own marketing system and you cut out the middleman, right? So rather than paying Zillow for leads or Realtor.com, if you cut out the middleman, generate your own high-hanging fruit leads, you can get a lot more leads for less money, all right? Again, most of the agents that take action on this strategy that work with us, they're averaging about 200 leads a month. The leads usually come in for about $3 a piece, sometimes $4 a piece. And so I hope everyone's listening. Please be taking notes here. That means if you do this right, every $100 you spend on advertising, if you follow the ads I'll show you in the webinar, every $100 you spend on advertising should create about 25 to 30 leads. All right? I'm going to repeat that again because that might be a little bit weird for some of you to hear that. Every $100 you spend on lead gen, every $100 you spend should directly create 25 to 30 new leads. So now that you hear me say that, it really shouldn't be that shocking that I say that we have a bunch of agents who have doubled and even tripled their GCI using this high-hanging fruit strategies, because every $100 they spent brought in a new, you know, surge of 25, 30 leads. If every $100 you spend brings in 25, 30 leads, it really is not that hard to double your business, right? Most agents aren't used to that. They probably think it's impossible. But I'm going to show you in this webinar the exact Facebook ads that we use to generate those leads so that you can cut out the middleman in your own business and grow your business. So again, my name is Tim Shermack. I'm the CEO of Platform Marketing. I'm the author of High Hanging Fruit. Everyone on this webinar is going to get a free copy of that book. I do want to mention that you see the platform logo in the bottom corner of all these slides. If you hear me say like the platform strategy or the high hanging fruit strategy, I mean the same thing, right? So I might use those terms like interchangeably throughout this training this morning. So platform and high hanging fruit mean the same thing. The reason that sometimes I call it the platform strategy is that the actual marketing company that I founded is called Platform. So by the way, at the end of the webinar, we're going to give you a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. And in addition to that, as kind of an extra bonus, we're also going to offer you a trial month of platform. So if you're interested in having us set up and create all your Facebook ads and your landing pages and having us just build your marketing system for you, so you just see leads coming in and all you have to do is follow up with the leads, that's what we do at Platform. So as an extra bonus, as a way of saying basically thank you for joining us on the webinar, yes, we're going to give you a free copy of the book, but we're also going to give you a trial month of Platform if you're interested. So I'll share more about that later. So let's actually dive in right now to the actual training of how to generate these high-hanging fruit style leads. All right. So this first video I show you is a quick 25-second video of Jonathan Garrick. He was a broker with Keller Williams, right? And he's very much into the books by Gary Keller, right? It seems like pretty much every real estate agent has read at least one Gary Keller book, whether it's The One Thing, maybe The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right? That's pretty much the Bible for ambitious real estate agents, like The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So it's a great book, right? But what Jonathan found is that after he read some of these books by Gary Keller, like he still didn't quite know what the next step was. Like what's the practical, tactical next step? Because those books really helped him with his like business planning and his vision and his goals for what he wanted to achieve. But he didn't quite know how to generate leads, like via number of leads that he would need to actually hit those business goals. So for him, reading the book High Hanging Fruit and taking action on this was kind of that missing link that allowed him to actually generate the number of leads that would be necessary to actually hit his goals. Because like just because you set aggressive business goals for 2018 doesn't mean you're actually going to hit them, right? Like we're in that time of year right now, January, February, right, where a lot of agents are setting goals for, hey, I want to make 200K in GCI this year, or I want to make 400K in GCI this year, or I want to close 7 million, or I want to close 12 million in sales volume, or whatever your goal is, right? And just because you set a goal doesn't mean you're going to hit it, because you actually have to have a practical plan to generate the number of leads that would be necessary to realistically hit that goal. So for him, high hanging fruit was kind of the missing link that gave him the confidence that, oh, wow, like I actually can generate the leads that I'll need to hit my goal. So I shared this quick video with you just so you have the context of what makes high hanging fruit different from most books for realtors. There's a lot of business books for realtors, and there's a lot of marketing books just for general business. There's not really any marketing books for realtors that I'm aware of. So that's how High Hanging Fruit is unique. It's a marketing book written specifically for realtors.
Hi, it's Jonathan Garrick, real estate agent in Southwest Florida with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm here today to talk to you about the book High Hanging Fruit and the Platform System. And if you've ever read any of the books by Gary Keller, The One Thing or The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, they give you the real big picture thinking on how to come up with a business plan and to grow your real estate business. This is the rocket fuel to that system to actually how to market your business and yourself effectively. So definitely, if you're interested in this book, pick up a copy and also contact Platform. It was one of the best business decisions I've ever made.
Cool. So again, if you're just joining us, everyone is going to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. All right, free. This is the last video I'll show you here as we dive in. Just because I want to set the precedent again that this strategy isn't something that I'm crossing my fingers and I hope it'll work. This has worked for hundreds of agents. So and it's not just about generating leads, because I know that like leads don't inherently grow your business, right? Just because you can get 200 leads a month doesn't mean you're actually going to make more money this year. It's about actual closings, right? It's about the quality of the leads. Like, are those leads actually resulting in commission checks? Are you getting quality leads that are actually becoming, buyers and listings for you, right? So here's an example of a realtor who worked with us who didn't just double his GCI. He didn't even triple his GCI. He actually quadrupled his business. He quadrupled his GCI once he took action on this high hanging fruit idea.
Hey guys, if you're still skeptical about high hanging fruit, let's just break down the numbers real quick. In 2013, I did 25 deals. I then implemented high hanging fruit platforms so that in 2014, I went from 25 to 50 deals. In 2015, I went from 50 deals to 70 deals, baby. And now in 2016, I'm making over 100 transactions so that you know. And now that I have my team in place in 2016, just imagine what I'm going to do in 2017. Make it a phenomenal day.
And so what's cool is that that's Jose, and he is in Jose is in the market of Colorado Springs in Colorado. He's been working with us for a couple years now, as you can see. And in Colorado Springs, Jose doesn't have a big team. So he's doing over 100 transactions. It's just him, a buyer's agent, and an assistant, right? So that's how powerful this high-hanging fruit idea is, right? Is that he can do over 100 transactions and not need a team of 5 people or 6 people, right? So I show you that just so you understand what's possible. If you're just joining us, please grab a pen and paper. If you haven't already noticed, I talk fast. I usually do consulting days with brokers or real estate teams, and they'll hire me for like a full day of consulting for like an 8-hour day, right? So essentially what this webinar is I'm trying to pack in all the insights I might go over in 8 hours into like an hour-long webinar, right? So that's why I move quickly, I talk fast. That's why I'm not active in the chat box answering questions. I'm having Mitch answer questions in chat for me because I'm trying to get through basically 8 hours of information in a 1-hour webinar. So please grab a pen and paper and take notes. I do talk fast. So super quickly about me. Again, my name is Tim Shermack. The first book I wrote wasn't High Hanging Fruit. Actually, the first book I had published was Main Street Marketing. It was a business book for just local, Main Street entrepreneurs. So locally owned brick and mortar small business owners, right? It wasn't necessarily specifically for realtors. What happened though is when I published this book, what I found is that a lot of real estate agents were taking action on it. They were taking some of the lead generation ideas I had introduced in this book, and they were applying them, to their realtor business. So they were using it to generate obviously buyer leads, seller leads, get more people to their open houses, things like that, get more referrals, right? And a couple of them messaged me telling me about like the impact it had made on their business. And so eventually a couple of those realtors ended up hiring me kind of as a personal consultant to help them really dive into the ideas and implement. And the results were so staggering once we did that, I mean, realtors were, like I said, doubling and tripling their GCI. And so I've worked with now dozens and dozens of agents who have doubled or tripled their GCI. So when I say that platform can double or triple your GCI, just to be clear, I am not cherry picking like one example or 2 examples where an agent got lucky doing this and they doubled their business. We have proof over and over and over again of agents that if they follow what we teach and they run the ads that I'll show you on this webinar, like they run the specific Facebook ads that I know are proven to work, you'll double your business. You could even triple your business. And so this happened so frequently that I ended up writing an entirely new book called High Hanging Fruit. So this book isn't just for general small business owners. High Hanging Fruit is a legit 200-page book I wrote specifically for realtors. So again, everyone's going to get a free copy of this book, but this book is written specifically for real estate agents. So let's dive into this. The first thing I talk about in a consulting day, like if a broker hires me or a team hires me to do a marketing training day with them, is we talk about this concept of the 2 variables, like the 2 variables that'll move your business forward, right? Where to invest your time and where to invest your money. If I could get straight to the point, most agents are investing their time to generate leads and they're investing their money at the bottom of the funnel buying leads, right? So imagine the typical sales funnel, the sales cycle, right? It's basically like an upside down triangle, right? The sales funnel where it's widest at the top and it gets narrower as it gets to the bottom, right? And most agents are investing all their time at the top of the funnel to generate leads. So to get leads to come into the funnel, right? To opt in, to register, they're investing their time. Usually this takes the form of an agent making cold calls, right? They time block 2 hours a day, right? To make cold calls to FSBOs or to expired listings, or they're calling their sphere of influence, asking for referrals, right? So they invest their time making outbound calls, outbound, outreach, right? To generate leads. And with whatever money they have, whether it's, $300 a month for advertising or $3,000 a month for advertising, right? They invest their budget at the bottom of the funnel buying leads, right? So they invest their time at the top of the funnel generating leads. They invest their money at the bottom of the funnel buying leads. you know, when they invest their time, usually it's in the form of just time blocking every day to make, you know, phone calls, right? But sometimes that can be they're volunteering at their church or they're volunteering at their kid's school, just to, basically just to get their name out into the community, right? To stay top of mind with people. You know, maybe you're networking and you're like very active in your local chamber of commerce or a BNI group, right? So what most agents are taught is that to generate leads, you invest your time building relationships with people, you know, networking or, you know, cold calling, right? Like your time is the main ingredient in the growth of your business, right? Just investing your time to generate leads. And then with whatever marketing budget you have, right, at the bottom of the funnel, what you do is you just buy leads, right? And buying leads is the definition of low-hanging fruit, right? If you're buying leads, notice the verb I use, buying. Like it's categorizing a lead as just like a commodity that's bought and sold, right? Like these are humans, right? But when we even use the phrase buying leads, that's what I talk about when I say it's low-hanging fruit. Like we're buying and selling leads like they're commodities on the stock market, right? So even like the sentence, I'm buying leads from Zillow, like that should tell you that it's low-hanging fruit. Because if a lead can be bought and sold, by definition, it means they're at the bottom of the funnel. They're ready to go, right? You're basically buying their contact information. So hopefully you can be their realtor and not some other agent, right? So when you buy leads at the bottom of the funnel, that is low-hanging fruit. So to me, the big evil villains, right, in this world of low-hanging fruit are, you know, companies like Realtor.com and Zillow. They're basically selling low-hanging fruit to agents, and the agents are bidding against each other, willing to pay ever higher and higher prices to buy leads from companies like that, right? So the first thing that we do is we realize and just, you know, acknowledge that most agents are investing their time at the top of the funnel generating leads. They're investing their money buying leads at the bottom of the funnel. I want you to do the opposite. All right, so we're going to do the opposite of what most agents do, the opposite of what you've probably been taught your entire career as a realtor, right? We're going to do the opposite. We're going to start spending our money at the top of the funnel generating leads, right? We're going to build a high-hanging fruit marketing system that generates leads for us so that we can invest our time at the bottom of the funnel. So we only have to invest our time following up with leads that our marketing system has already warmed up for us, right? So this is a very, very qualitatively different approach than what most agents are doing. So yes, we're going to get into the specific Facebook ads that make this work, but I need you guys to understand that just knowing the Facebook ads doesn't mean this will work for you. You have to understand like the bigger picture shift that's happening in your business that allows this to work, right? So again, we're going to do the opposite of what most agents are doing. We're going to invest our time at the top of the funnel generating leads so that we'll only, from now on, we'll only have to invest our time following up with leads that were already warmed up for us by our marketing system. And so, you know, most agents will, you know, maybe time block 2 hours every day to call, you know, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's when they do their phone call follow-up, right? And the reason they need 2 hours a day is because it's all cold leads, right? They're hoping that just the law of large numbers works out for them. And if they call 200 people a day, maybe they get one appointment set a day, right? Because if you make enough calls, you eventually will set some appointments. It's just math, right? But that's not a very good use of time. And I'll get to that in our next slide here. It's much better to have a marketing system working for you that's generating leads around the clock so that rather than spending 2 hours of your day every day just calling strangers, right, cold calling, that you could maybe just spend 45 minutes a day only following up with warm leads, like leads who actually opted into your high-hanging fruit lead generation campaigns, and they actually want to hear from you, right? So from now on, you'll only spend your time following up with warm leads who actually want to hear from you, right? So this is a game changer for most realtors. Like if you really are honest and you look at your business, you're probably spending your time generating leads, and that's a constraint on the growth of your business, right? That's what you need to understand is if the way that you've been generating leads up until now, if the main ingredient has been your time, you know, that's a major constraint on the growth of your business because time is the one thing that you can't buy more of, right? So another reason I love this high-hanging fruit philosophy, this just idea of how we're generating leads, is that the leads are so much cheaper, right? Rather than, you know, paying Zillow $1,000 a month and getting 40 leads, right? Which means that those leads, you know, for $1,000 a month, those are really expensive leads. Like those leads are 25 bucks a piece, right? I've seen agents even who said they were paying Zillow $1,500 a month and they were getting 10 leads a month. Like those are really expensive leads, right? Most agents are basically used to paying 25 bucks a lead, 30 bucks a lead, 40 bucks a lead, even $50 a lead, right? So they're used to paying $100 for an ad and maybe getting 1 or 2 leads, right? With high hanging fruit, again, every $100 you spend, if you run the Facebook ads that I'll show you how to run on this webinar training, every $100 you spend should pretty consistently bring in 25 to 30 leads, right? So your business can absolutely double or triple. Like you can double or triple your GCI if every $100 you spend brought in 25 or 30 leads. So I love that because it's kind of an equalizer, right? It means that even if you don't have a big budget, you can still probably generate 100 fresh leads a month as long as you're willing to spend $300 or $400 a month on ads, right? You don't need to have a $5,000 a month budget like maybe some of the top teams do in your market, right? You can generate 100 fresh leads, warm leads every month as long as you're willing to spend even a couple $100. That's what high hanging fruit is about, because if we focus on these high hanging fruit leads that are further up in the sales cycle, right? So these people aren't ready to go this week. They're not going to list their home with you this week, right? These high hanging fruit leads are probably 2 months out, or maybe they're 3 months out, or maybe even they're 4 months away, right? It's February 13th right now, right? A lot of the high hanging fruit leads that you generate might not be ready to go until April, right? Maybe they're not even ready to go till May, right? But the point is, if you generate those leads now and you start building a relationship with those leads right now, you know, when March rolls around, or when April rolls around, or when May rolls around, right? They're not going to interview other agents. They're not going to go to Zillow or Realtor.com and opt in, and then they get, you know, 20 phone calls from the agents who are buying those leads from Zillow, right? If you generate that lead now, when it's high hanging fruit in February, by the time they're ready to go in April, like you're their realtor, right? You didn't have to do a bunch of hardcore lead conversion and sales. Like you're their realtor. You slowly built trust over time. So that's what high hanging fruit is all about. Building a solid pipeline of future leads, you know, picking the fruit from the top branches of the tree where most agents aren't willing to climb to. All right. So this text I'm showing you here, the reason I want to show you this specific text message, I took a screenshot of this. This is a real estate agent who's literally 19 years old. So the reason I'm showing you this, like, yeah, he got a couple, you know, buyers that are pre-approved, you know, like $400,000 worth of business. He's super happy. But, you know, yeah, that's great. But he's 19 years old. So if a kid who basically just graduated high school can do this and take action and convert leads, he's 19 years old. You can too, right? His name is Keaton. He's a realtor in Wisconsin. So in my consulting days I do with realtors, kind of the next concept I talk about, once we get clear about those two variables, where you're investing your time versus where you're investing your money, the next concept I talk about is the plateau. So as I mentioned, I've gotten to work with like hundreds of realtors now over the last couple of years. And a weird thing has happened that I always see agents hit a plateau in their career right around 30 transactions a year. And at first it was confusing to me because I saw this pattern. It was like, I couldn't miss it, right? Whenever I would ask realtors, like, you know, they would say, oh, I'm hitting a plateau. It was usually right around 27 closings a year, right? Or 32 closings a year, or 33 closings a year, right? It's not literally 30 on the dot, obviously, but right around 30 transactions a year, I was noticing most agents hit a plateau. And then I had this like light bulb moment and it all just became clear to me. Like the reason you hit a plateau once you get to around 30 deals a year is that you literally run out of hours in the day to cultivate more leads. You literally run out of hours in the day to follow up with more leads. And so you get stuck at about, you know, the maintenance level of 30 transactions a year because you actually run out of time. You can't possibly invest any more hours, you know, doing more cold calls or doing more follow-up with new leads because you're already maxed out serving the clients you already have, right? And so I see this happen all the time with realtors. They hit a plateau around 30 transactions a year. And it's because what got them to 30 transactions a year was just hustle, right? The H word, hustle, right? Just with straight up hard work and with hustle, most agents can get to around 30 deals a year, right? Just by making sure you always call people back if you miss a call, or being willing to sit open houses on weekends, right? Answering your phone on nights and weekends, right? Always following up with your leads, always following up with your sign calls, right? Always asking for referrals from your clients and asking your friends and family, if they know anyone who's thinking about, buying, selling, or investing in real estate, right? Just with straight up hustle, you can probably get to 30 transactions a year. But what you need to know is to get beyond 30 transactions a year, hustle is actually your worst enemy. And I don't say that in like a holier than thou way. Like, I'm not saying I'm looking down on people that are working really hard and they're hustling in their business, right? But what you need to know is that if you feel stuck and you can't get to 40 or you can't get to 50 transactions a year, or maybe you're at 35 right now, but you want to hit 60, right? You want to basically double your business and go from that to going to 60. What got you here won't get you there, right? Because if hustle, which is really just a different way of saying time, like putting in the time, right? If time is the main ingredient that you used to grow your business up until now, that is the exact constraint that'll prevent you from getting to the next level, because you literally run out of hours in the day, right? There's a finite number of hours in the day and you can't change that no matter how hard you're willing to work, right? So if you did, let's say, 35 transactions last year and your goal is to get to 60, you basically effectively want to double your business, right? Let's say that, your goal is to go from 35 to 60. I don't even have to ask you. I already know that you're probably working 50 hours a week or more, right? There's no such thing as an agent who's doing 35 transactions a year who's working part-time, right? Any agent who's doing 30 transactions a year or more, you're not only working 40 hours a week, you're probably working 50 hours a week, maybe even 60 hours a week, right? Like, there's that joke where, where like someone asks a realtor, like, oh, are you working full-time? And it's like, yeah, the person says, I work my 40 hours a week. And then the realtor says, 40 hours a week? What do you do after Wednesday? Right? Because as agents, we kind of just understand that if we're going to be successful, like, we often have to work around our client schedules, not our schedules. And so you're probably working 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, right? Like 40 hours a week. I remember my first part-time job. And so if you're doing, 30 transactions a year, 35 transactions a year, I don't even have to ask you. I already know if you're at that level in your business, you're already working 50 hours a week or more, right? And so just, guys, think about it. You can't double your business if you're already working 50 hours a week or more. You can't double your business by just working harder. Because, like, seriously, I'm like, what are you going to do? Work 100 hours a week? That's just impossible, right? The inputs aren't linear with the outputs. You can't just double the inputs and expect the outputs to double. So you have to actually qualitatively change something, right? That's what I'm saying. You have to build a marketing system that generates leads around the clock for you, so that your time is no longer the constraint on the growth of your business. If time and if hustle are how you were generating leads, that will be the constraint. Because if you're time blocking, let's say 2 hours every day to make cold calls, to generate leads, right? To set appointments with expired listings and for sale by owners and things like that, right? And you want to double your business, like, what are you going to do? Start, cold calling for 4 hours a day, right? Are you going to start calling from, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day? I mean, that just wouldn't work, right? Because you actually have to leave some hours in the day to be a realtor, right? You can't just spend all day making cold calls and trying to generate appointments and things, right? You actually have to have some hours in the day to be a realtor, like, to attend home inspections and go on showings with your buyers and attend closings and negotiate and, go on listing appointments, right? You can't just spend 4 hours a day making calls. So hustle can get you to about 30 transactions a year, maybe 35, right? But to get beyond that level, to get to 50 closings a year, 60 closings a year, 70 closings a year, beyond. We have clients that do over 100 closings a year, a platform, right? To get beyond that kind of plateau in your business, it's not about hustle. It's about building a marketing system that generates leads for you so that you only follow up with warm leads, right? That's what this is about. So here's another quick video. It's like a 20-second video of Paul. Paul's a client of ours in the Baltimore area. This is Paul talking about how he busted through that plateau because he actually built a high-hanging fruit marketing system. So he went from 50 to over 60 closings a year. So he actually quadrupled his business.
Hey guys, Paul Gillespie team at Keller Williams Gateway. Before I met Tim and implemented the platform marketing system, I was selling about 15 houses a year. I'm 3 years into it. The second year, I sold 25. This year, I'm going to sell 60, and then next year, our goal is to sell 100. So the platform system is a real deal. I could not have scaled my business so quickly without it. Thank you.
Awesome. So again, he busted through the plateau. He actually quadrupled his business, went from 15 transactions a year to over 60, right? And he didn't do it by hustling harder. He didn't do it by just like, making more calls, right? He didn't get a mojo dialer. He didn't like sign up for the bold class at Keller Williams, right? And then just get super fired up and then make 1,000 cold calls every day, right? He worked smarter, not harder, right? He built a marketing system that generated leads for him so that he only had to spend his time following up with warm leads, right? So that's what this is about. And the reason I spend time on this is because you can know all the, ninja Facebook secrets in the world, and it doesn't mean crap if you don't actually understand the big picture factors of how this is working in your business, right? Because you could get 200 leads a month, you could get 400, 500 leads a month. And if you're not structuring your business correctly, it wouldn't even matter. So let's talk about now, right before we dive into the actual specific Facebook ads that you should be running to generate these leads, let's talk about the current state of the marketing industry for realtors, right? So let's talk about the big major companies you probably already know about, like, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., Curator, obviously Zillow, Realtor.com, there's YLOPO, there's Real Geeks, and then of course there's Google, right? What I want you to know is that all of the companies I just mentioned, right, all these names you're already familiar with, their business model is essentially the same. They're all essentially a middleman for ads on Google, right? They're a middleman for Google. So if you're getting your leads from, whether it's Zillow or Commissions Inc. or, Boomtown, whatever, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., Zillow, Realtor.com, their entire business model is that they're just a middleman for Google pay-per-click ads, right? You might think you're getting your leads from Zillow, right? You might think you're getting your leads from Sync, right? But where do you think Sync is getting its leads from? Where do you think Zillow is getting its leads from? They're getting the leads from Google, right? So when you're paying companies, like that to buy leads, what they're doing is they're just first getting the lead from Google and they're essentially reselling the lead to you at a higher price so they can make a profit, right? They're basically like a retailer getting wholesale leads and then selling you a marked up retail price for those leads, right? Obviously, there's nothing like morally wrong with that. Like, that's capitalism. That's how business works. But you need to just be aware of that, right? Like, that's how the business model functions. And so if you're getting your leads from Zillow, you've probably just never stopped to ask yourself, where is Zillow getting the leads from? They're getting it from Google, right? So basically the entire real estate industry unknowingly is getting their leads from Google, right? And Google is getting really, really expensive now. Like pay-per-click ads, searching for keywords, SEO, all of that is way more expensive today in 2018 than it was even just 2 or 3 years ago, right? So there's probably agents on this webinar right now that have been running, ads on Zillow. They've been buying impressions from Zillow for 5 years. Let's say, like, you've been buying them since 2013 or 2014. Like, I guarantee you that let's pick a round number, right? Like $1,000 a month. If you've been putting $1,000 a month into Zillow ads for the last 5 years, I guarantee you are getting fewer leads today for $1,000 a month than you were 5 years ago, right? But the $1,000 a month is the same. Like, you've always been spending the same $1,000 a month, but now you're getting fewer leads. Why is that, right? You can't just think it's inflation, right? We haven't had that much inflation in the last couple of years, right? It's not inflation. It's that at a fundamental level, the supply and demand dynamic of Google ads has become much more expensive in the last couple of years, right? And so if Google pay-per-click is much more expensive now than it was 5 years ago, all these companies are getting their leads from Google, right? So they're not going to just absorb that cost. They pass the cost on to you, right? So that's why, again, if you're getting your leads, whether it's Commissions Inc., Boomtown, Zillow, like Realtor.com, right? It's all the same. They're all getting their leads from Google. And so if Google is more expensive, the leads for you are going to be more expensive, right? Here's why. I call this basically the Google industrial complex, right? If you look at charts of the percentage of home ownership in the United States, pretty much the same number of people are buying leads today as they were about 5 years ago, or buying homes today rather, as they were 5 years ago. So in America, right, the rate of home ownership really hasn't changed in the last 5 years. Like the same number of people are buying homes in 2018 as they were back in 2012, 2013, 2014, et cetera. So that has basically stayed a constant, right? That's a constant. But what has changed is the number of agents that are willing to buy leads online has gone way up. So that's what's changed, right? Like 5 years ago, if you were a realtor and you were investing in pay-per-click on Google, or you were getting leads from Boomtown, Commissions Inc., Zillow, things like that, any sort of online marketing, really, you were a pioneer, right? You were like ahead of the curve, right? You probably had a big first mover advantage because 5 years ago, not many agents really understood the importance of online digital marketing, right? 5 years ago, it was still extremely common to have like your main advertising going towards, direct mail, billboards, print ads in the newspaper, things like that, right? Now, though, in the last couple of years, there's been an awakening amongst real estate agents, and they're realizing, perhaps for the first time that, oh my God, I need to, start putting my money into online advertising, right? Because that's where the eyeballs are. So what you need to understand is the supply and demand dynamic has shifted, right? It's no longer easy to get leads online because there's so many agents bidding against each other for those leads, right? It's like what you learned in junior high economics, supply and demand. If supply stays the same, but demand goes up, the leads will become exponentially more expensive, right? If supply stays the same, so the number of home buyers searching online for homes is the same, but there's way more agents that want to buy those leads, the price goes up. It's a very basic supply and demand, right? So what we're going to do is use Facebook ads instead of Google, right? Rather than bid against agents and bid the price up more and more and more. Because that's the weird thing is like the more people join, the higher they're willing to bid for leads, and the problem gets worse, right? What we're going to do instead is we're going to just exit the Google industrial complex entirely, right? We're going to cut out the middleman, and we're going to generate our own leads using Facebook ads, right? So Facebook ads are the wild, wild west of online advertising. Facebook, unlike Google, really is the wild, wild west, right? Facebook is where Google was probably 5 or 6 years ago, where there's billions of people using it. However, there's not very many people who know what they're doing with Facebook ads, right? So the opportunity is still huge, right? Again, Facebook is the wild, wild west of online advertising. If you want to get cost per clicks as cheap as Google was 5 years ago, cost per lead as cheap as Google was 5 years ago, you've got to use Facebook ads, right? Google often is $10 a click, not even a lead, but $10 a click, right? Facebook, we can still get clicks for as cheap as 20 cents a piece sometimes, right? And so Facebook, it is still absolutely possible to get leads for $2 or $3 a piece. So to make this work, right, you have to be getting leads for $2 a piece, $3 a piece, $4 a piece, right? The whole high-hanging fruit system doesn't really work if your leads are $20 a piece or $50 a piece, right? Like most agents are willing to pay. So again, what makes this work is we're fundamentally using Facebook ads to generate leads higher up in the sales cycle, right? High-hanging fruit. Facebook is a great way to generate leads that are ready to go maybe in 2 months or 3 months, maybe even 4 months, right? Because they're on social media. They didn't go on Facebook to click an ad for a realtor. They went on Facebook to see pictures of their friends and family and the pages they follow, right? So if we can offer them something of value when they're on a social network like Facebook, right, it's actually a lot easier to generate leads because most agents aren't advertising there, right? There's a very good chance you'd probably be the only agent in your market that has an interesting ad, right? That's not just a picture of the agent with their smiling face that says, please like my page, right? So there's still a ton of opportunity in Facebook because every other agent is using Google, right? It's the same opportunity you had with Google 5 or 6 years ago, right? Where hardly anyone was using it. So if you figured out how to use it, you had a huge advantage. you have that opportunity today with Facebook ads. So let's dive into the specific Facebook ads that work to generate leads. All right. The first thing I usually mention when we start talking about like Facebook lead gen is you have to offer real value. To be blunt, most agents are not offering any value in their ads, right? Their ads might just say something like, hey, if you're thinking about buying your house, call me, here's my number. If you're thinking about listing, a house, call me, here's my number, right? And then it'll have your website and it probably has your broker's logo just for compliance reasons, right? But most agents don't have anything interesting in their ads. There's not really a call to action. They're not offering anything in exchange for people's contact information, right? Lead generation has to be a trade. If you're taking notes, please write that down. Lead generation has to be a trade. If you actually want to be successful generating leads, you have to understand at like a fundamental level. Lead generation is about offering something valuable in exchange for someone's contact information, right? And I know that a lot of you are probably listening to me right now and you're thinking, all right, Captain Obvious, right? Please get to the specifics, right? But we have to be clear on this because this is why most agent ads suck. It's why most lead generation ads for Facebook, whether it's Google, Google, like I said, Facebook, they don't work, right? I've seen agents spend $200 on Facebook ads and then they don't get a single lead for $200. And then they say, oh, Facebook ads don't work. Like, no, Facebook ads work. Your advertisement just sucked, right? So we have to understand what makes a good ad, right? So you have to offer real value. Lead generation is as simple as offering something of value in a trade in exchange for someone's contact information, right? The way that it has to be a fair trade though, right? So imagine like when you were younger, right? You might have been trading, Barbies or doll accessories, right? Back and forth with your friends. Or maybe if you were a boy, right? You traded baseball cards, let's say, with your buddies, right? If you had like a Babe Ruth, card, like a rookie card, let's say, of Babe Ruth, you wouldn't trade that for any old random player. You would want really good cards in return if you were trading a Babe Ruth baseball card, right? You wouldn't just give it up for anything. It has to be a fair trade, value for value, right? The same thing is true of lead generation. If you're going to convince a buyer or seller searching online, for homes or searching online for information about real estate in your area, right? If you're going to convince them to voluntarily surrender their name and email, right? To like sign up for something, to give you their contact information, it has to be a trade. They have to be receiving something of greater value in return, or else they won't make the trade. So that's why you have to think about it as if it's a trade, right? So the way that most agents right now are generating leads is with IDX websites, right? You drive someone to your website, whether it's, Boomtown, Sync, Real Geeks, there's tons of websites, right, that have IDX. They go to your website, they start searching for a couple listings, and then boom, they get a pop-up, right? And it says, hey, create an account, you have to register to keep looking at listings, right? And if you don't create an account, then you can't keep looking at homes. Or I've seen it on some websites where it's not like a number of listings. Sometimes it's after they've been on your website for 30 seconds, then boom, they get a pop-up, right? And it asks them to create an account, right? They have to register, which is how the website is generating leads, right? And it asks them for name, email, phone number, right? The problem is that's not a fair trade. That's really more of like a hostage like situation, right? If you're demanding that someone give you their name, email, phone number just so they can keep looking at listings on your website, why the hell would they do that? They can just go to Zillow or go to Realtor.com and look at listings for free without having to give any of their contact information. So this is just a terrible way of generating leads in 2018. That's not a fair trade. They can get that for free elsewhere, right? Why would they give up something when they can get what you're offering for free, right? So that just doesn't work to generate leads anymore, right? And it's why we have the epidemic right now of fake leads, fake contact information, right? Most agents, even if they are getting some leads, from Boomtown or Sync, right? They'll often say like, well, half my leads are fake, right? It's like fake names, fake phone numbers, fake email addresses. Because the person, when they opted in, on your Boomtown website, they didn't want to give you their contact information. They just wanted to look at homes, right? They didn't want you to contact them. So they just took the path of least resistance. They just gave you a fake email address or a fake phone number, right? And so we can solve that problem of fake leads by offering something of real value. It really shouldn't be surprising, right, that people will give fake contact info if that's how you're generating leads. I mean, just ask yourself, why are you on this webinar, right? Like I'm about to give you a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, and I'll share more on that in a second. But that's the reason, I mean, be honest. That's the reason you're on this webinar, is you wanted a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, right? You didn't hop on this webinar because you wanted to listen to me talk about this marketing strategy, right? What you really wanted was the book. So when we created the ad campaign on Facebook for this webinar, we offered a free book, as a gift, so that you would sign up and join us on the webinar, right? The real reason you joined was that free book. It was a real offer of value, right? Probably when you clicked on the ad, right? You probably thought, well, I don't really want to give these guys my contact information, but I do want that book. Like, I guess, yeah, I really do want the book. I guess I'm willing to give up my name, email, phone number so I can get that book, right? You had that conscious thought. I mean, that thought process probably happened instantly for you, but it is an actual conscious thought you had. You were willing to trade your contact information to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, right? We spent about $1,000 on this webinar ad campaign. Just so you guys know, we spent about $1,000, got about 200 realtors to sign up. And so we averaged about $5 per lead. So we're targeting real estate agents across the entire United States of America. And the leads were $5 a piece. We spent $1,000, got 200 people to sign up for this webinar, right? So if we can do that across the entire United States and average a $5 cost per lead, you can absolutely get leads for $3 a piece or $4 a piece if you're just targeting your local market, right? Where you want local buyers and local sellers. But what's going to make this work is you have to offer real value in the ads. So the first ad I usually teach people how to run that does offer real value and then therefore generates leads is what I call the pool homes report. So it's a Facebook ad where we're offering a free list of homes that have a pool in your area, right, in exchange for someone's contact information. The reason this works is that you're offering something that's not easy to just search on, Zillow or on Realtor.com, right? Like searching for homes with pools. It's kind of hard to search by that. And even in some instances where you can, most people don't realize you can, right? And so we run this ad where it's offering a free report of homes for sale that have a pool in your area, right? And anyone who opts into it obviously is probably a buyer looking for a home with a pool. The real reason we run this ad, though, isn't that we want buyers. It's that it's kind of a sneaky way of generating listings. Because statistically, what I know is that anyone buying a home with a pool is not a first-time home buyer. Like 99% of the time, someone buying a home with a pool is a move-up buyer. They already own a house and they're upgrading, right? They're moving up to a home with a pool. So before they do that, they'll have to list and sell their current home, right? And so to upgrade into something, bigger, nicer, a home with a pool, they'll have to sell their existing home. So it's kind of a way to generate listing leads by proxy, right? Because all the leads that come in, that yes, you'll probably get to represent them as a buyer's agent when they, move up to buy a house with a pool, but you're also getting a listing out of it because they'll have to sell their current house. Very, very rarely are any of these leads first-time home buyers, right? And so I love the pool homes report for that reason. It's creating both buyers and sellers. What the Facebook ad looks like is it just says, let's say you're in Birmingham, Alabama, right? It'd say, attention Birmingham. I've created a custom report of homes for sale with pools. To view the homes, go to www.birminghampoolhomesreport.com. And they can click that right there, www.birminghampoolhomesreport.com. The Facebook ad itself is just a giant image of a home with a pool, right? Like a home that looks like it'd be in the Birmingham area, right, with a pool. And so they go to the landing page and then they click a button that says, hey, tell us where to send your pool homes report, right? And so the reason we have that there is because that makes it very clear that this isn't an instant download, right? You have to actually give us your name and email address so that we can send you the list, right? So what we do right there is that's ensuring that everyone's giving us their real email address. Like we're getting real contact information, right? Because if the landing page says, hey, tell us where to send your pool homes report, you're not going to get people giving you fake contact information. And this works. I mean, you're on this webinar right now, right? You are proof that this works. You wouldn't have given us, a fake email address or a fake name, fake phone number, right? The fact that you're listening to me talk right now is proof that this works, or else you wouldn't be on the webinar right now, right? So this strategy absolutely works to generate leads. If you want real contact information from your leads, them giving you their actual phone number, their actual email address, you have to offer them something that they actually want. right? And so usually we target this pool homes report ad on Facebook. We'll target homeowners over the age of 30 in your market, or sometimes we'll do people over the age of 30 that are college grads, right? So it's a great way of ensuring that the leads are a little bit higher quality, because we're trying to generate, not just buyers, but also listing leads with that pool homes report, right? So again, we're not doing this because we want, buyers who want to buy pool homes. It has nothing to do with pool homes. It's that we know this is a great proxy for making sure that the leads we're generating are also seller leads, because it's just so rare that someone buys a home with a pool as a first-time home buyer, right? So that's one ad that works really, really well. Another ad that works well, very similar to the psychology of the pool homes list, if maybe you're in like the Midwest or you're in a more rural area that doesn't have a bunch of pool homes, right? Maybe it's really cold in the winter and pool homes are not a good idea to generate leads, right? Do an acreage homes report, right? So the acreage homes report, the same thing. The Facebook ad says, let's say you're in Fargo, North Dakota, right? So it's like, attention Fargo. I've created a special report of homes for sale here with acreage. To view the homes, go to www.fargoacreagehomesreport.com, right? And then you'll send them a free list of all the homes for sale in the Fargo area that have at least 1 acre of land, let's say. That ad works just as well as the pool homes list, and for the same reason, right? The acreage homes report is just a free report of homes for sale in the area that have acreage. Again, it's not that we're trying to get a bunch of buyers that want to buy land. That has nothing to do with this, right? It's that we know statistically 99% of the time, if someone's interested in buying a home with land, they are not a first-time home buyer, right? They're a move-up buyer. And so, yes, you can probably sell them a house with some land or sell them some land, but before they do that, they'll probably have to sell their existing house because they're a move-up buyer, right? So it's kind of a sneaky way of getting listings, right, from Facebook, not just buyer leads, right? So I love the pool homes report, the acreage homes report. They're great ads. Again, I would just have a picture of a home with acreage as the Facebook ad, and then I'd drive them to something like FargoAcreageHomesReport.com. I'll usually target homeowners over the age of 30. That's how I target it in the Facebook ads, or sometimes I do people over the age of 30 with a college degree, right? Just to ensure the leads are a little bit higher quality. Usually these pool homes report leads and these acreage homes report leads come in for about $3 a piece. That's the average. So I'm being totally truthful with you guys, just being honest. If you set it up right, as I just described, every $100 you put into that Facebook ad should create about 25, 30 leads, maybe even 30 to 40 leads. I've seen some agents get leads for $2 a piece with these ads, where they spend $100 and literally 50 leads come in for $100 using the pool homes report or acreage homes report. So those are 2 ads that we run for platform clients right now. So I'm not just giving you an ad that I think will work. That's an ad that we set up for almost all of the realtors across the country that actually hire us at Platform to do their marketing, to do their lead generation for them. That's what Platform is, by the way, is if you want us to set up all this for you, you can just hire us to do it all for you, right? In a few minutes here, I'll share actually how you can get a trial month of Platform if you're interested. In addition to getting a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, we'll give you a trial month of Platform again if you're interested. So if you want more examples of ads, I'm trying to wrap this up because I want to respect your guys' time, right? If you want more examples of ads, go to platformmarketingpdf.com, and I've given you 5 specific Facebook ads there in addition to the acreage homes report and the pool homes report that have proven to work. Platform has spent, just so you guys know the context, Platform has spent like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads for realtors. For our own company, just for Platform, we spend about $10,000 a month to upwards of $20,000 a month on marketing, primarily Facebook ads, right? So when I say that these ads work, I'm telling you after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these ads, they work, right? These aren't ideas. These are ads I've already tested and proven. I already know that they work, right? So if you want a couple more examples of ads that work, go to platformmarketingpdf.com. And notice that at platformmarketingpdf.com, you're giving me your name and email again to get that, right? If you want that and you opted in for it, it's proof, again, that the strategy works. Like, the reason I have the slide on here isn't because I need your name and email, right? Like, by definition of the fact that you're on this webinar, I already have your name and email, right? So it's kind of unnecessary to even ask for your name and email on that landing page for platformmarketingpdf.com. The reason, like the real reason I have the slide on here is just to remind you that most people are totally willing to give their name and email in exchange for something of value, right? If you're actually offering something of value, people will give you their contact information, right? So if you want that PDF, you probably did just sign up right now, right? So unlike what I guess most agents think about lead generation, maybe because they've had bad experiences with like, you know, Boomtown or Commissions Inc. or Zillow or Realtor.com, whatever, right? There's not a shortage of people out there willing to give their real contact information, you know, for lead generation. There's not a shortage of people out there willing to opt in. There's a shortage of realtors with any creativity that are giving, you know, something as a trade, that are offering something that's worth opting in for, right? So it's not that there's a shortage of people out there. It's that most realtors aren't offering anything in their lead generation advertisements that's worth signing up for, right? So please notice that distinction, right? Lead generation is really simple if you actually have something that's worth giving away, that's worth signing up for, right? That's worth trading for, right? So I'm going to show you this quick video here of Brandon talking about how this high-hanging fruit strategy worked for him, and how he's not just generating buyers, he's also getting listing leads because of this marketing strategy, right? You can actually build a relationship with people versus just buying leads from Zillow, buying leads from Realtor.com. And I'll actually show you one of his listings he picked up. It's like a $400,000 listing because of this high-hanging fruit strategy.
2016, my team's going to do over 40 lead gen deals. It's not just all about the leads. We're walking up to a listing I have where the owner saw me in a retargeting campaign through a market update video, and now I've got a $450,000 listing. This whole high-hanging fruit marketing campaign strategy, it really works.
So that is an actual listing he got. You can see his sign in the yard. Brandon is in the suburbs of Denver. And I always play this video to the point where the dog barks, just because I think that's kind of funny. So, but you can see his sign there, right? That's an actual listing he got. So another benefit of this high-hanging fruit system is that because of the leverage that's created by the marketing system generating warm leads for you, you're only following up with warm leads. And so you can actually build a relationship with these leads. You don't have to use these awkward sales scripts that you learned, you know, from Tom Ferry, or that you learned from, you know, the Bold class you took at Keller Williams, right? You don't need to cold call expired listings and handle objections on the phone and, you know, practice and rehearse your sales scripts, right? You can just be casual and build a relationship with the leads. Because if your marketing system is warming them up for you, and they're not ready to go because they're high-hanging fruit, right? They're not ready to go for 2 months, or they're not ready to go for 3 months. The more casual you are in the follow-up, and the more you focus on just building a relationship, the higher percentage of leads you'll actually convert, okay? The higher percentage of leads you'll actually convert. So I'm telling you, there's also qualitative like lifestyle benefits of doing this too, right? You no longer have to be that asshole real estate agent who's making 1,000 cold calls a day, and you're trying just to generate leads by the law of large numbers, right? Like, well, if I make 1,000 calls a day, I have to generate at least one appointment, right? It's like, well, yeah, you will, but you'll also hate your life in the process, right? So high-hanging fruit is going to bring you a higher quality of lead too, right? Because who cares if you get 200 leads a month, or, you know, you get 300 leads a month? Who cares if those aren't actually quality leads? That's why throughout this webinar, I've tried to show you some videos of agents that have grown their business where they're talking about their GCI, right? Notice that that's the metric they always talk about. Hey, I implemented this high-hanging fruit idea, and here's what happened to my GCI, right? Because if it's not actually showing up in your GCI, then the marketing isn't working, right? Who cares about the number of clicks that you got? Who cares about the number of people that like your Facebook page? Like, seriously, it does not matter, right? Who cares about the engagement you're getting on social media? That doesn't matter. All that matters is the number of leads coming in, and how is that actually affecting your GCI? So, you know, I tell our clients to focus on that, because if that's not going up, all the marketing you're doing doesn't really matter, right? All right, guys, here's my last slide here. So I'm going to tell you about this idea of fishing upstream, and then what's going to happen after that is I'm going to show you how to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, right? As promised, right? That's why everyone is on the webinar, is to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. And then after that, if you're interested, I'm going to give you more information on Platform Trial Month. So what Platform is we are a marketing agency, and we can build all this stuff for you. We can set up all your Facebook ad campaigns, split test everything. We'll even build all the landing pages for you, the text message follow-up to leads, the email follow-up. We'll build like retargeting campaigns. We even edit all of your videos for you. So it's a full-blown like marketing agency, and we just specialize in working with realtors. So if you enjoyed this webinar and you're interested in more information about Platform, you want us just to set all this up for you. If you're interested, I'll share more about that in a second, but we're actually going to give you a trial month of Platform if you're interested, right? Right after I tell you how to get a free copy of the book. So on this last slide, fishing upstream, what I want you to realize is like when you're fishing upstream, that's the essence of high hanging fruit. You're catching all the fish before they get downstream to where everyone else is fishing. So imagine that you and some friends are at a river, right? You all have your lines cast in, you're fishing, you're maybe like 2 or 3 feet apart from each other. You're all fishing in the same area of the stream, right? Because of that, it's a zero-sum game. Any fish that you catch is now a fish that your friend can't catch, right? Any fish that they catch, now you can't catch. It's a zero-sum game, right? Because you're fishing in the same area. You're fighting over the same, pool of fish, right? And so for someone to win, someone else has to lose. That's the definition of a zero-sum game. What would happen if you walked 100 feet upstream, right? You cast your line in there. If you walked 100 feet upstream, you had the vision to do that, right? You would catch all the fish before they got downstream to where everyone else was fishing. You would intercept all the fish before they got to where everyone else is, right? In the same way, if you're a real estate agent, you can fish upstream, right? You can intercept all the leads in your market 2 or 3 months or even 4 months before they're ready to contact a real estate agent. And so if you can get them to click on one of your ads and opt into one of your ads, like this Acreage Homes report, this Pool Homes report, right? There's a bunch more ads I can show you. There's like dozens of more ads that we run for our realtors platform, right? If you can get a buyer or a seller in your market to opt into one of these Facebook ads, 3 months before they're actually ready to go, by the time they get to the point where they're ready to actually start house hunting, they're actually ready to schedule some showings, or they're actually ready to have you over for a listing appointment, they're not going to interview other agents. You've already been talking with them and building a relationship over the last couple months. Most people honestly just don't have the energy or time in the day to interview multiple agents. They don't want to call different agents and see what's a best fit for them, right? They just want to go with the first agent that they trust, right? So if you're fishing upstream and you follow this high-hanging fruit lead generation strategy, you're going to intercept all those leads a couple months before they would ever think to go on Zillow or Realtor.com, right? And they become your lead. They won't interview other agents because they already trust you. So you're basically fishing upstream, right? That's the metaphor that I want to leave you with, is you're fishing upstream. That's how this lead generation strategy works, right? Most agents that do this correctly probably generate about 200 leads a month. That's the actual average with Platform. As agents that work with us, they'll average about 200 leads a month, right? So again, that's 6 or 7 leads a day. This is the final video I'm showing you. This is literally, this is a 10-second video, all right? This is a realtor who hired us. So right after I show you this 10-second video, then I'm gonna share with you how to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, right? This is Tom. He is a realtor in Birmingham, Alabama, and he's been a Platform client now. And he's already scheduled in 2018 more GCI that he already has like scheduled on the books than everything he did in 2017, thanks to this Platform strategy, thanks to High Hanging Fruit, right? And so Tom, Tom hired us last year. We've been running lead generation campaigns for him, and now 2018. Keep in mind, we're only in February, right? We're only in the 2nd month of the year. It's still winter in February in Alabama, right? And so he already has, though, more GCI scheduled for 2018 leads he's already converted than he did in all of 2017, right? That's what building a pipeline is about. That's what Platform is about. So I'm going to show you this video. This is like a 10-second video that Tom filmed for us. And then after this video, once you just see, the power of this, I'll show you how to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, and then I'll share more details about the Platform marketing system and how you can get set up on a trial month.
I have a pipeline in 2018 that is as large as everything that I closed in 2017. What else can you say?
Again, he already has more business already on the books for 2018 than everything he closed in 2017. And if you want to use the same marketing system, that Tom used to do that, I'll share more with in a second here. So to get a free copy of the book, guys, as promised, just go to www.highhangingfruitbook.com. That's where you can get a free copy of the book. All right? www.highhangingfruitbook.com. Just to be clear, it's not highhangingfruit.com. It's www.highhangingfruitbook.com. All right, that's how you get a free copy of the book, no strings attached, right? highhangingfruitbook.com. Now, I'm going to share a little bit more with you about the platform marketing system. And again, as an additional bonus, like a gift on top of the free book that we're giving you, right? We're going to offer you, it's just our way of saying thank you. We're going to offer you a trial month of Platform if you're interested. So what we do with Platform is we become your marketing agency. We set up all the ads for you, right? So you don't have to know anything about Facebook ads. You don't have to know anything about setting up landing pages, or you don't have to be a web developer or a web designer. We'll even build the email follow-up sequences, the text message follow-up sequences. We'll build retargeting campaigns. As part of Platform, we even edit all of your videos, all right? So we really just become your marketing agency. The catch, though, here's the catch. We only work with one agent per market. That's what's made it so successful. That's why I have all these case studies of agents that have doubled and even tripled their GCI. Is like, unlike other companies, we don't have 20 agents using our marketing platform in the same market, right? If you've signed up with Curator or Boomtown or Commission Sync, there's probably 10 or 20 or 30 other realtors in your same city that are also using Curator or also using Sync or Boomtown, right? Platform isn't like that. We only work with one realtor per market. So you're the only agent in your market that's going to be running our ads, right? Because we only work with one. So we're highly exclusive, but that's why we have a consistent track record of actually doubling and even tripling agents' GCIs. Is because we're very, very exclusive. So here's how the trial month works if you're interested. Just go to platformmarketmap.com. It will literally take you 10 seconds. Go to platformmarketmap.com. All you have to do is tell us where you live. That's it. You don't need to schedule a sales call. You don't need to, there's not some long survey or questionnaire. We're not going to ask you for a credit card. We're not going to even ask you for a phone number, honestly. All you have to do, just take 10 seconds right now. Go to www.platformmarketmap.com. And the only reason we're asking you where you live, that's the only question we ask, is where do you live? The reason we ask that is we're just trying to make sure we don't already have a client in your city, right? Because we do only work with one agent per market. We're very exclusive. We're very strict on that, right? So to get signed up on that trial month, right, all you have to do is go to www.platformmarketmap.com. It'll take 10 seconds, right? All we're asking is, hey, where do you live? So if you live in Madison, Wisconsin, all you would have to do is go to platformmarketmap.com and then say, hey, I live in Madison, Wisconsin. That's it. It'll take you 10 seconds. In the time I've been talking about it, I already see that some of you have already done it, right? So platformmarketmap.com. Here's a quick video I wanted to show you of Crystal. Crystal got started, and in her very first month, well, I'll just let her do the talking, but these are the results that Crystal got using the platform marketing system in her very first month. So these are results that she had in her trial month, right? In the trial month, this is all the new business that came in.
Hi, this is Crystal Boggs. This is my first week with Platform. I started Tuesday about 4 p.m. By Wednesday, I had 3 buyers pre-approved. By Sunday, 1 was in negotiations, 1 under contract, and 1 still viewing homes. It was an amazing week. Thank you, Platform.
Wow, looks like we have 14 people that have already requested information at platformmarketmap.com. That's awesome. And so again, if you want results like Crystal did, if you want to use the exact same marketing strategy that Crystal used to get those results, just go to platformmarketmap.com and you can get signed up for the trial month. Here's another video I want to show of Taylor. Taylor is a realtor in Tampa, Florida, right? So notice that I've showed you videos from agents all over the country, right? Like that one, Crystal, she's in Mississippi. I've showed you one in Alabama. Taylor here is in Tampa, Florida. I'm going to show you a video in a second of an agent in Texas. I'll show you one in Minnesota. We have some case study videos of agents in Kansas and Ohio and Phoenix, Arizona, all around the country, right? The platform marketing system works all around the country. It doesn't matter if you're in a big city, a small town, a suburb, a farm town, anything in between, right? So Taylor added over 100K to his business. So the reason I want to show you this video is that Taylor is only 25 years old. And in the first year that he used Platform, he actually added over 100K to his GCI in his very first year using Platform. All right. over 100K. He went from, I think, like 50,000 in GCI to over 150,000 in GCI his first year he used Platform, and he credits Platform with the results, right? So this is a super short video, but check it out. This is what's possible. It could add over $100,000 of GCI to your business.
Hey Brandon, it's Taylor. I'm a real estate agent down here in Tampa, 25 years old. And before I started joining with Platform, I made just under 40 grand, around 35. Last year in 2017, I closed over 7 million, made over 150 grand. And next year it's the $250,000 mark. I need to hit over 250. I definitely think that's Platform.
Awesome. So again, it added over 100K to his GCI in his very first year using the Platform system. And he's only 25 years old, right? So www.platformmarketmap.com. The next thing I'm going to show you is an animation video we created just so you can kind of understand how Platform is fundamentally different from other marketing systems out there that you've probably heard of, right? Like Curator, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., YLopo. I mean, obviously big ones like Zillow, right? So here's a quick like minute-long video we created just to kind of show you how Platform is different from other marketing companies that you've probably heard of.
4 things you need to know before hiring a marketing company. First, make sure that your marketing company isn't working for your competition. Many companies like Zillow, Curator, and Boomtown are simultaneously working with dozens of agents in the same market. This helps them make more money, but it's not what's in your best interest. Second, make sure your marketing company is actually generating leads for you. Many companies are really just website companies. To succeed in a world of social media, you need more than a website. You need actual leads. Third, make sure you set aside time to call your leads as soon as you can. A Harvard study showed that if you call a lead as soon as they come in, they are 7 times more likely to qualify than even waiting 1 hour. Fourth, if you can't call your leads right away, make sure that your marketing sends a text message to the leads. Maybe you're on a listing appointment and you can't call a new lead that comes in. Text messages have a 98% open rate, yet most agents aren't texting their damn leads. The perfect marketing company would help you generate leads, convert leads, and it would be exclusive. What if a marketing company did all of the above and it only partnered with one real estate agent per city? Sounds crazy, right? For more information, check out platformrealestate.com.
So again, go to platformmarketmap.com. If you want to get signed up on that trial month, platformmarketmap.com. All we're going to ask you is where you live. You know, it'll take 10 seconds. Just go to platformmarketmap.com. This next video I want to show you, this is Danny. She is a realtor in Texas. And we actually added, I know this sounds crazy, but we actually added about $175,000 to her GCI, right? I know it sounds crazy. It's why I asked her to film a case study video, because if I just told you that, like, you probably wouldn't believe me. It almost sounds like too good to be true, right? So when she signed up, she was already a pretty successful agent. She was already making about $100,000 in GCI, but we took her business from $100,000 in GCI to about $275,000, or yeah, $275,000 in GCI. Now she's got to the point where it made sense for her to finally hire an admin assistant. She brought on a buyer's agent, and she's scaling her business even more. But Platform directly took her from $100,000 in GCI to $275,000. So I actually asked Danny to film a video specifically talking about the trial month that we're offering with Platform right now. I just asked her to film a video saying, hey, what would you tell someone who was thinking about signing up for the trial month? Like, what would you tell them if they were thinking about it, but they weren't sure? So here's what Danny thinks about Platform in her own words.
Hey, it's Danny. I am a realtor in Texas. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're interested in the Platform trial month. I have to tell you, you would be crazy not to take them up on that. When I started with Platform about 18 months ago, I didn't get a trial or any kind of discount, but it has hands down been the best investment I ever made in my business. When I first started with them, I was doing about probably $100,000 in income, so about $4 million in GCI, or excuse me, in production. Now, today, after being there a little over a year and a half, I have doubled, almost quadrupled that, and will do about $275,000 in GCI this year. I actually hired my first buyer's agent. I also have a part-time administrative person. So it's just been a really good decision, and to
be able to try it out for a discounted price is awesome, and I wish I would have gotten to do that. But you know, I still made an incredible return on that investment. So definitely would highly recommend it.
Awesome. So again, I mean, the numbers are really all that matter, right? We took her from 100,000 in GCI to 275 in GCI, right? That's amazing. So if you want to use the same marketing system that she did, go to platformmarketmap.com, right? You can get signed up for a trial. Here's a video of like Michelle Jones. She's a realtor in rural Tennessee, right? So I said this works everywhere, big cities, small towns, everything in between. Here's the results that Michelle got in her trial month. So I want to be clear on this. Like what most people are wondering right now, like if you're watching this, but maybe you haven't inquired about the trial month yet, like you haven't clicked platformmarketmap.com yet, it's probably because you're thinking, yeah, but how quickly does it start working, right? Like I've heard you talk about high-hanging fruit, but I don't have 2 months to wait, or I can't wait 3 months to get results. Like if I'm going to do something, I need results right now, right? Well, here's my answer to that question. Here's how quickly platforms start working. All the results that Michelle's going to tell you in this video she got came in her trial month, like the very first month, her actual trial month. So these are the results that you can experience in your first trial month.
Hi, this is Michelle Jones from Tennessee. I joined the platform webinar. I signed up. My results for the first 10 days are that the 2 new listings ads that I ran with platform, I got both under contract in the same day. I also have 5 active buyers that I'm currently working with now, and I also have obtained 3 new listings.
That's amazing. And again, keep in mind that happened in her very first trial month. And so if you want to use that same marketing system, check out platformmarketmap.com. Right. So this video I'm going to show you here, this is Danny Springfield. Danny is a realtor in San Antonio, Texas. So of course, if you're in San Antonio, just realize that, you know, unfortunately you can't sign up for the trial month platform because we already have a client here, Danny, who's in San Antonio. So that's how that works, right? The reason I wanted to show you this specific video is that Danny's case study is a little bit different than most agents, right? Most agents are super happy to grow their business. They're happy to make more money, you know, increase their GCI, you know, obviously, right? Of course. But Danny's business grew and something else happened. She actually got to spend more time with her family. So for her, she was already a successful agent before a platform, right? She was already making a couple $100,000 in GCI every year. So she was already doing very well financially. But platform allowed her to grow her business and actually spend more time with her family too. Because her business grew so much, she was actually able to hire employees. And her husband, Travis, he goes by the name Trav. Trav actually was able to quit his job as an engineer. So he walked away from an engineering career to join Danny, right, in her real estate team. So just to give you an idea of like the financial impact it made for their family, it made financial sense for her husband to leave a job as an engineer to join her real estate team, right? That's how much her business has grown because of platform. I think for her, platform added about 200,000 in GCI, right? And so now she gets to spend even more time with her family, more time with her kids, because her business has grown by about 200K in GCI. But because of that growth, she's been able to hire people to start replacing herself, so she doesn't have to do everything by herself anymore. So she actually gets to spend more time with Travis, more time with her kids, and her business has grown a bunch. It's a win-win.
Hi, I'm Danny Springfield in San Antonio. My platform story starts, I've been in business and real estate for about 5 years. When I signed up, I was plateauing at about 13 to 15 million a year. I had another agent on board with me, but I knew that we could get a little bigger and do a little better. Most importantly, I wanted to do that in a scaled fashion. So signing up with Platform enabled me to build my business to about $20 million a year, but where I'm spending more time, I have 3 little kids, where I'm spending more time with them. My husband actually left his engineering job to join my team, and that has been such a godsend for our family. Our quality of life has increased dramatically, and we owe a lot of that to Platform. The biggest change has been the quality of leads, so you're not spending all your time chasing ones that aren't very good, and maybe even most importantly for me, has been that Platform, it gets me in front of my sphere for referral business so easily with little effort on my part. So I'm a happy client. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I'm really just thankful to be part of the platform family. Thanks.
So again, if you want to use the same marketing system that Danny used to add 200K in GCI to her business, just go to platformmarketmap.com and you can actually get set up on a trial month. So www.platformmarketmap.com. The next video I want to show you is, this is Jeff Downing. He's a realtor up in Iowa. And I show you this video, again, just to reinforce that this works in like any market in the US, in Texas, in Tampa, Florida, in California, in Arizona, in Minnesota, in Kansas, and even in the cornfields of Iowa, right? These are the results that Jeff got, again, in his very first month. So it didn't take him 90 days to get results. It didn't take him 6 months to get results. It didn't even take him 2 months to get results. These are the results that Jeff is going to share with you that he experienced in his very first trial month with Platform, right? So these are results that happened during the trial month. So again, to get set up on your trial month, go to platformmarketmap.com.
Hey guys, Jeff Downing here. I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. As you can see, the corn's growing right behind me, so I am definitely in Iowa. Just hit my 30-day anniversary with Platform, and I want to share with you some of my successes. First campaign, first night it's going, and wake up, my phone's got a full contact lead. Name, number, address, and then down at the bottom, the most beautiful thing in the world says, yeah, I'm looking to buy a house in the next 90 days. We were able to get their home listed and get them upgraded in house. Both those houses went pending just last weekend, which is about $14,000 in GCI off my first day in my first month here in Platform. Also had a call, hey, love your video. We're looking to sell.
And so what Jeff is about to talk about here is that he's getting listings from Platform too. I want to make that clear that the Platform marketing system will get you seller leads too. Lots of online, marketing companies or realtors, whether it's Boomtown, Commissions Inc., whatever, usually it's buyer leads, right? Or even Zillow. Usually it's buyer leads, but Platform has kind of cracked the code. We've figured out how to consistently generate seller leads for our clients too. So not only do you get buyer leads, you'll also get listing leads when you work with Platform. Let's get back here. So again, he's getting listing leads from Platform.
Also had a call, hey, love your video. We're looking to sell our house and upgrade. So just last night was on a listing appointment for $425,000. That's an at-bat I would not have had without Platform. I've also added literally hundreds of contacts into my drip campaigns and into my SOI. So that's been really, really cool. Finally, I love talking to my account administrator once a week. David, if you're out there, man, you're the best. Love chatting with him every Monday. We can look at the...
So what Jeff is talking about there is another part of Platform that makes it work so well, honestly, compared to most other marketing companies, is that you will have a personal account manager that works with you at Platform. So we're not a huge company, right? We don't have like thousands or tens of thousands of realtors that work with us, like Zillow or like companies, like Boomtown, right? We have about 100 clients right now around the US. Actually, might be like 110 right now around the United States. And so obviously most markets are still available because there's a lot more cities in the United States than just 110 cities, right? And so we only have about 110 clients. So we're still a small enough company where we still personally know all of our clients, right, on like a first name basis. And so when you join Platform, you'll actually have a personal account manager assigned to you, and they will talk to you on the phone. You have a scheduled weekly phone call with them every single week, a one-on-one call, like a personal phone call with your Platform account manager. And they go over how the Facebook ads are working, how many leads you had come in. They'll coach you on follow-up. They'll give you ideas of what to say on the phone or over email to convert the leads. They will edit your videos for you. So any videos you film, whether it's a market update video or a listing video, they will even edit all of your videos for you. So it's like hiring a full-blown marketing department. But like what I wanted to focus on there is that we do a one-on-one phone call with all of our clients every week. It's not a mastermind call. It's not a group coaching call, where you're hopping on a conference call line with like with 50 other agents, right? We do a one-on-one, just you and us, a one-on-one phone call once a week. So we're always on the same page. We can always coach you on how to convert more leads. So that's what Jeff is talking about there. His account manager's name is David. So that's what he's talking about there, is that weekly phone call, that one-on-one phone call he has every week with David. That's part of the platform experience. And that's a major reason why we've been able to double the GCI of agents that work with us. Again, it's not just the number of leads coming in that matters. It's converting those leads into actual closings.
Text into my drip campaigns and into my SOI. So that's been really, really cool. Finally, I love talking to my account administrator once a week. David, if you're out there, man, you're the best. Love chatting with him every Monday. We can look at the effectiveness of the ads, my ad spend, and he's also helped me with scripts, when to call back, what to say, email returns. Just get rejuvenated to start the week after talking with David every Monday. So that's been my experience with Platform. If you want to know more, please look me up.
Awesome. So again, that is Jeff Downing. Here's a video of Justin Liller, where we actually more than doubled Justin's business last year in 2017. We added over 100K to his GCI, so that was pretty awesome. Justin in this video says that hiring Platform was the best business decision he's ever made. I'm not going to show you this video because there's one more video I want to show you, but again, Justin says in this video here that hiring Platform was the best business decision he's ever made. I'm going to skip ahead. I mean, notice all these. This is Tammy in Louisiana. This is Micah. He's in Hawaii. We added over 100K to his GCI. So this works everywhere, even out in Hawaii, right? I'm skipping over a lot of these testimonials just so I can show you guys one video here at the end. So we have all sorts of case studies. Here's another video. This is Justin Stewart. Justin ran a top 5 neighborhoods campaign and it just kicked butt. So that ad worked really well for him. A top 5 neighborhoods campaign. It was a Facebook ad that to see the top 5 neighborhoods in the area, you had to opt in. That generated leads for him for like $1 a piece. The result was that he actually doubled his business. Actually, he had tripled his business last year. And in just 1 month, he made 40K just from Platform leads. So Justin's a realtor in Texas. That's a great success. This is Rodney in Kansas. I'm going to skip ahead to this one, though. This is a video of Brandon. He's in the suburbs of Denver, Colorado. And Brandon will do over 40 closings this year just from Platform, okay? So even if you're already counting all this other business he's getting from like his sphere of influence and referrals and all that, on top of all that, Brandon will do over 40 deals this year just from Platform leads, right? So on a monthly basis, what that means is he's adding over 3 closings every month to his business from Platform. Every single month, 12 months out of the year, an extra 3 closings every single month.
Introduced the whole online lead platform system. I was skeptical. Now, a year later, we're closing 40 deals in 2016. This is all due to the online marketing platform. For example, we have our buyers meet us in this building, which gives us instant credibility. So when you meet somebody on the internet, you never know if they're real or not. So when you come to a building like this, people come in here, they want to work with you, they realize you're real, and then you sign them up as a client. Come with me to the office. For example, we are closing 11 deals in June alone, totaling over $4.5 million. That is an incredible number, and about half of that came directly from the platform system. Now over here is the stuff you can't fake. This is our pipeline. This is ready buyers who've been pre-approved. They want to go searching, they want to go shopping, and they want to buy a home. 50% of these guys are all coming from our platform system, and it's proven the high-hanging fruit mentality, the system, the platform leads, it really does work, and it's real.
Awesome. So like his whiteboard doesn't lie, right? He actually gave you a behind-the-scenes tour of his office. The whiteboard doesn't lie, right? Those are all the leads he has coming in from Platform. So again, every single month he closes at least 3 closings just from the Platform marketing system. Guys, I have so many more case studies I could show you, but I'm going to skip ahead to the end here and show you a video that's personally very like meaningful to me. This is Debbie Kaler. She's a realtor up in Minnesota, and this is probably the coolest platform like case study, like before and after case study of all time. Debbie had such incredible results with Platform that I actually hired a documentary film crew, and I paid to fly them there to interview her, and we created a documentary around Debbie's story because it was so cool that it almost was like too good to be true that I had to just have it captured on video, right? So a little backstory here. Debbie was broke when she hired Platform. Her business had gone down the toilet. She had no closings, no pipeline. She was actually searching for jobs. She was applying for jobs elsewhere. She was going to quit being a real estate agent because she just thought that she couldn't do it anymore. She had no leads, no closings. She had lost hope. She took what little money she had left and hired Platform for a month, right? She took like the last money she had. And I know that sounds dramatic. It sounds like cheesy, but that's actually the truth. The last money she had, she gave it to Platform, just crossing her fingers, like hoping it would work. She had nothing to lose. And I'm not making this up. The first video ad that we ran for her as a Facebook ad was actually a listing video tour of her own house, because she had to sell her own house because she was behind on the mortgage payments and couldn't even afford to live there anymore. Like the bank was about to take her house. And so that's how dramatic of a story this is, that she was broke. I mean, the bank was about to take her house, and Platform grew her business to the point where now she's the top producing agent in her entire brokerage in the entire state of Minnesota. So not only is she not struggling anymore, she's just kicking butt, right? She bought a brand new car. She even bought a $500,000 lake home on a prestigious lake near where she lives. And so she went from being, poor, to being the top producer for her brokerage in the entire state of Minnesota. It was such a dramatic, before and after story that I hired, like I said, a film crew to actually tell her story in a documentary. And so this is actually a quick video clip from that documentary. This is the power of the Platform marketing system. So if you want to use the same marketing system that Debbie did, again, www.platformmarketmap.com.
Okay, so I love this car. I've always wanted a Jeep Rubicon, always. Never thought I'd be able to get one, especially that I could just write out a check for, actually. But I was in Platform for about 6 months when my other car actually blew up, and I just kind of thought, what am I doing? I can afford what I want. So drove onto the lot with that wreck and drove off with this Rubicon with only 6 miles on it, which was a fantastic day.
And so I want you to meet Debbie Kaler. The Platform strategy literally rescued her career. After the housing market crashed, she was struggling to make a living. Now she's driving a brand new car, bought a new lake home, and business is better than ever. Her story is just incredible. So we'll let her share the details. This is the power of the Platform strategy.
Hi, I'm Debbie Kaler. I'm a realtor in a very small town in west central Minnesota. Population just a little over 2,000. So it's a tough market. We have a lot of agents around here. In fact, I would say we are saturated because everybody, for some reason, thinks that real estate is the fast, easy money, easiest thing you can get into. So I got into real estate in 1990 and always did pretty well, probably in the top 10, 15. And then the market crashed. And being a single person, that was tough. I ended up losing my house, my car, pawned all my jewelry. I literally had nothing left other than the clothes on my back.
So, as I said, Debbie's story is one of the coolest Platform stories I've ever heard. After 20 years in the business, things were so slow, she was about to quit real estate entirely and find a new career. She was applying for jobs around the country, just trying to find something to pay the bills. And then she discovered Platform.
So thinking, this is it. I have to get out of real estate permanently, even though I loved it. They found out my story and they said, we have this young guy that does marketing for us. You should give him a try. So I was desperate and I decided, all right, I'm going to meet him. It turns out his name is Tim Schermack. And he came over and talked to me and started telling me about Platform. And I thought, this is entirely too good to be true. There's no way anything is that good that's going to take me from about being homeless, literally homeless, to actually being able to stay in this business and make it. But humor me, I'll listen to him. So I meet him. He gave me the good sales pitch. Out of frustration, I hired him. And only because that day in the mail, the very last check had come from my retirement account. Very last check. And I knew it wasn't going to carry me through anyway, so what's the big deal? I might as well gamble. I threw it at him and said, all right, big talker, you think you can do this? Do it. I bet it was 3 weeks later, leads started to come in like crazy. And they started rolling in. I'm not kidding. And pretty soon I didn't have time for that other job I took. I was back into real estate. And here we are 2.5 years later. And I went from number 47 in my association up to number 2.
So Debbie went from having no money, literally losing her home, to being the number 2 agent in her entire association. I love this story. It's such an authentic example of the power of platform. The entire community noticed how quickly Debbie built her brand. Remember, building your business is as simple as building a list of people who trust you. Not just a database, but a list of people who trust you.
So one of the fun things with platform was I had so many friends say, you know, when the market crashed, we thought you were done. That was it. We thought your business was going under, that you were done, no more, Debbie. And it's like you came back with a vengeance. All of a sudden we see videos all over the place and your signs are going up all over the place. And now you're really showing other people how it's done. I actually had a couple of my competing agencies come and try to recruit me with their company. To which it's like, no, I turned them down. I mean, they're like, don't you want to work for, and then they'd say their name because they're bigger names in the area. I don't have a big name. You know, Lakes Area Realty, Debbie Kaler Real Estate, and I don't have the big banners, the big balloons, anything like that. And it's like, you know what? I don't need you. I'm doing fine on my own. They didn't like that very well, but I've pretty much buried most of them, which is a great feeling. And it's all because of platform. I went from, said, bottom of the barrel, thinking that I was going under, to a place I never thought I would be. And it's because of the marketing. And that happened rather quickly. Actually, I would say within 3 months, people started to make comments about, wow, you came back strong. And by 6 months, it was, wow.
Amazing. So let's take a behind-the-scenes look at Debbie's office and get a feel for what her daily routine looks like when the leads are flowing in.
So I just want to give you a behind-the-scenes look at what Platform has done for me. Just in this last week, I've gotten 3 pages of leads. The ones that are crossed off are the ones that I've actually come in contact with, I've had phone conversations with, or even met them for coffee. I've got 2 listing appointments out of it so far, and for sure 1 buyer, probably 2, maybe even 3. So it's been great that way. It keeps me busy. It keeps me in contact with people. But I really want to show you personally what it's done for me. So my dream car was always a Jeep Rubicon. And after working with Platform for, I don't know, about 6 months, I was finally able to get one. Brand new, right off the lot. And it only had 6 miles on it. So it was glorious. Working with Platform and really working the program, if you work it, it works. So if you've been in it and say that it doesn't work, it's only because you're not doing anything with it. I have proof, because what I'm going to show you is the property I was able to buy, and it may not be huge, but it is on a premier lake. It's on Green Lake, which used to be the 2nd purest lake in the world. It's completely renovated. I can't wait to show it to you. So, you know, we're going to go there right now and take a look.
You know, I'm reminded of that classic quote from Zig Ziglar. You can have whatever you want in life if you'll just help other people get what they want. This is the very essence of the platform strategy. Just serve people. Before you ever ask for anything, provide value. Be the most helpful real estate agent in your market. As you'll see, it worked for Debbie, and it can work for you too.
I paid plenty for it just because it is where it is. But it is a Frank Lloyd Wright house, which does mean something, so I wanted to keep his design. And
That's another reason I renovated what was there instead of tearing it down. It is a $500,000 house in a community where everything, the average price is $150,000. So it's an accomplishment. I never thought I would be able to do that. So we're almost at my humble cottage. So not only was I able to buy this new car, but Platform also allowed me to buy my new lake home.
So what's cool about this is she's actually going to take you. She's actually going to take you into her lake home here. Let me skip ahead to the end here. She'll actually take you into her lake home and give you a tour of it. Keep in mind that this came because of Platform, right? Her business was basically on its last leg before this. And so here's where she actually takes you into the lake home, so you can see the difference that it's made in her business. And so Debbie now is with the Lakes Area Realty Brokerage, and she was like the top producer for her state last year, the entire state, because of Platform.
Allowed me to buy my new lake home. So this is the lake home that I bought, and I was able to renovate the whole thing. What we're standing in was actually just a screen porch. Going into the kitchen, I was able to put in all new countertops, new flooring, all new appliances, took out some walls, added some windows, opened up the living room. This was a couple tiny rooms before. But what I love about this place is this epic view of Green Lake, and thanks to Platform, I get to enjoy it every day.
Again, so if you want to use the same marketing system that Debbie used to create these results, just go to www.platformmarketmap.com. All right, guys, again, I want to thank you for joining us on the webinar today. That's all we have. What I will do for those who are still on here, I'll ask Mitch to send you a checklist of kind of all like the things the Platform does for you, right? Like we have a checklist of just everything that we do for you, like setting up the Facebook ads, the landing pages, the email follow-up, text message follow-up, retargeting campaigns. We even edit all of your videos. So we'll run like a retargeting campaign for you on Instagram as well as Facebook, but then we even edit your videos for you too. So if you send us video footage of listings or of a market update video, we will edit all of it for you and upload it to YouTube, upload those videos to Facebook. And so it's like having a video editing department, right? Platform really is like hiring a full-blown personal marketing department. And so I'll have Mitch send you a checklist of everything that we do for you, just so you can see all of the specifics of what it means to join the Platform family, like everything that we do for you. So if you want to get set up on that trial month, again, go to www.platformmarketmap.com. I'll have Mitch send you a follow-up email. All right. Thanks, guys.